Hey, what's up, guys? So I have a really awesome guest today. I know, crazy, two lives in a day. I know, but let me invite her over really quick. Give me a second. Should be joining us pretty quickly. Yep. Awesome, she's already here. Yeah, great. Hello, Jill. That was pretty quick. Hello.
I saw the switch, so
I so guys, in case you guys didn't know, I went on my personal Instagram. I went live on my personal Instagram, and I was like, wait, this is not it.
wrong
This is not
one.
it.
Yep, it's all
We,
good.
we
I
made it
don't even
work.
know why I'm here on here with you. I don't even know what we're gonna talk about. I just showed up.
I love it. That's great. I have a list of questions on here, so it's all good.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for these questions.
I love your hair, by the way. I'm just gonna start off.
Thank you. I did a little like crisscross action here. Trying to get creative with my new short hair.
I love it. Yeah, you gotta, you gotta. I'm still figuring out the long hair thing, so wish me luck. So everyone that's joining me, joining us actually, this is our friend Jill Stanford-Caw. She is 2020 Olympic Boxing Qualifier. She's a coach. She's a business owner. She is a badass MF, to be honest. She's really, really super cool. So I invited her here. As you can see, I didn't even tell her what we're going to talk about today. But I really wanted to ask her about um, the double role that she plays, because very few people are both an athlete and a coach. And I really wanted her to dive into her expertise and her own experience with that role. I also wanted to talk about financial freedom because that's life. But that's mostly what that's honestly where I want our conversation to kind of go.
Okay.
So yeah,
What type of coaching are we talking about?
say it again.
What type of coaching are we talking about?
Like personal coaching, like literally, coaching 101. Because I know you do boxing and stuff, so I know you coach. You do individual coaching. So
Okay.
like specifically that kind of coaching. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So basically, how do I manage both, or like what is your exact question?
So tell me your experience about being both. Like, how's it feel? How has it been for you? Kind of putting both hats, like, because you kind of usually have both hats on at the same time. So
Yeah.
how? Yeah, right. So how has that been? Has it been like challenging? Have you just not even noticed? You probably just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I
So,
just go to
well,
the Olympics and coach people. It's whatever.
just to be like upfront, like I qualified for the Olympic trials. So I didn't actually get onto the Olympic team, but qualified for the Olympic trials. But as being an athlete and being a coach at the same time, I've always been an athlete. Literally in my entire life, I played soccer, lacrosse, dance, softball, everything except for the sports that you actually need to be tall in. I'm 5'10" and I'm tall, so I didn't play basketball and I didn't play volleyball.
I'm
Just all
dead.
sports. People ask me all the time, like, "Oh, you're a basketball player, aren't you? Oh, you played volleyball, huh?" I'm like, those are actually the two sports I did not play. Yeah, I boxed, played soccer, lacrosse, dance, and softball. So like those were the things that I grew up doing. So I just kind of grew up in that athletic perspective. But I also grew up as a chubby little kid. I didn't know about like what to eat or anything like that. I was always active, but food was not my forte. I was just eating whatever my parents gave me, which wasn't at the time wasn't the best food. Now that I know more about food and whatnot, it was just looking back, I was like, I was eating like frozen burritos, frozen like corn dogs. Like my dad was like, it was fast to have like a chocolate shake every now and then. It was just like, it was not the best food. So, but as I got older, I started to, look at myself in the mirror and kind of realize that, okay, maybe this food that I'm consuming, even though I'm athletic, isn't really playing such a good toll on my body. I started to kind of develop body dysmorphia. I didn't like the way that I looked. I would like pick myself apart every day. I looked in the mirror, just kind of like these little tiny things. I just kind of like nitpick, and which leads to, I know you deal in behavior, but mentally where I was going with that was just like my self-confidence was going down. The way I felt about myself, I didn't feel very confident in like the things that I did. Even though I was a great athlete, even in my athletics, I didn't feel like I was a great athlete because I had just such this demeanor about myself that I did not believe that I could be more than what I actually was. So because of that, and I'm going to make the connection here in a second, was because of all of that I had went through, I decided that I needed to, like, okay, I want to take control over my life. I don't want to be a victim. I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I know I can be more than I am, and I know I can live up to who I think I am, as opposed to, you know, just playing this victim and just being like, oh, poor me, da da da, whatever. So I decided to take responsibility. I decided to change up my diet, clean up what I was eating, started to make a change, transform, do more research on food, do more research on proper exercise, because there is such a thing as over exercising, and there is such a thing as under eating. So, and I kind of had a combination of both, and I had this complex about myself, and it was just, it's a whole story that I'm giving you the short version of it. But basically I got to a point where I took that responsibility and I decided to change what I was eating. I decided to change my workout routines, what I was doing. Still training for my sports, but I just wasn't eating enough food. And when I did eat, it was not eating good nutrition. So what happened was, as I started to do more research and started to transform my own life, my own habits, what I was working on, I started to see a change. I started to see a change in my body and myself, my athletic performance. I started to see a change in my mentality, the way that I looked at myself, and I really started to transform into this different person. And I would probably say this was probably right outside of high school that I was kind of going through this, like maybe 18, 19, that I was like, maybe probably, it was always before that, but when I really decided to make the change, it was probably like 17, 18, 19, within that range. So what was that?
I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so I started to make this change and I had a transformation. I think I had lost like 35 pounds. I was feeling really good. And for me, it made me realize that, okay, if I can do this, and I did it on my own, and I was too stubborn to ask for help. I didn't know who to ask for help. I didn't know who to go to. I didn't know who to ask. I didn't know if it's something ask my parents about, but then I feel kind of weird because then I'm like telling them that I feel uncomfortable with myself, and I didn't like that. I didn't like being vulnerable like that and telling someone I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. So after making that transformation, I realized that I wanted to be able to help other people do the same thing. So I decided that I was good at that point. That transformation made me decide my career path. So I was like, I want to be a coach. I want to be a personal trainer. I want to be able to help people on the same path that I had struggled through and be a catalyst to their journey, as opposed to, you know, having them trying to work through it and figure out on their own. Well, what if I've already done it? So what if I can just tell someone else and give them the same steps? I've learned a lot since then that everybody's different and there's a lot of trial and error. But that was kind of my mentality when I first got into it. So I had transitioned into being, I went to school for personal training. I actually went to a community college and got my fitness specialist certificate, which then led into me taking the test for like the ACE certification. So I became a certified personal trainer, started working with people and being an athlete at the same time. Pretty much my entire life, I've always been doing something. So, like, to answer your question, I know that was a lot to get to it.
Oh, that's exactly what I
but kind of giving you a backstory, that it's just kind of always been together. Like, it's just, this is what I do. This is my lifestyle. So wasn't weird for me to then transition into coaching and then to, like, there really was no separation between the two. But as time went on and me being a boxer, boxing is a very disciplined sport. And there's a lot that goes into boxing, a lot of different types of training. And then you're literally preparing to fight somebody. So I started to kind of realize that the energy that I was giving to my clients was making me tired to go and then train. So, and I was working at the same gym that I was training at. So then I didn't want to be there anymore. Yeah, and I started to kind of be like, I don't want to be here. This is where I work. Like, I don't want to be at the gym where I'm supposed to train and be so in this mindset of fight mode. And then, the next second I have a client coming in and I'm having her, do this, that, and the other, or vice versa. It's in the other way around. So for me, I decided to kind of train a little bit less. And so my job, I guess, I've always, like, I'm still a coach, I'm still a personal trainer. I just don't do it as much as I used to, because my focus was end up being more on fighting, on going to the Olympic trials, going to national tournaments and whatnot. So that was my long way around your question.
Good. That's awesome. That's exactly what I was wondering about. So that's perfect. Wow, that's so cool. That's really awesome. All right. That makes sense. I feel it. Like I kind of feel the same way. I've always been an athlete. Like I've always like done the sports things since I have a memory. But like it wasn't until like I kind of like learned about myself that I was like, okay, like I should like help other people. Like I should like pass along this knowledge. And I started people started asking me, it's like, hey, help. And then it just went from there. And of course I was in school and everything during that time. But like I'm saying, like I feel it. Like it's definitely like it becomes a lifestyle. It definitely becomes a lifestyle. I 100% get that. But yeah, talking about lifestyle, that brings me to my next point. So let's talk like coaching and finances. Specifically, like let's like talk about how was it for you to be a coach and like do life basically. Adult life is hard, adult life is expensive, so like there's a lot of like different options, so like I like
yes. No, I know exactly where we're going with this. So yeah, I live in San Diego. I live in a very expensive city. And being a coach, being a personal trainer, honestly, the struggle was real. I did have a lot of clients. I've worked with a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of demographics. The most recent demographic that I worked with was senior citizens between the ages of 80 and 100, mainly working with like neurological diseases and whatnot, even doing boxing with them to help them. And I noticed as a personal trainer working with different demographics, the best demographic that I had personally found to work with was senior citizens. And a couple of reasons. Y'all younger people cancel and quit all the dang time. And you don't show up.
Yeah.
They were more reliable to train as far as an income stance goes, as far as financially bringing in an actual paycheck week to week, month to month, whatever it was. They were more stable than it was for the younger crowd, because the younger people, summer, all of a sudden they're gone and you don't see them for the summer, or winter and they leave and this, that, and the other, or they just decide they don't want to do it anymore or whatever. But as senior citizens, like it becomes a life situation. Like it becomes something where it's like they want to continue to walk every day. They want to continue to be able to get up and down from the toilet, to be able to walk out their front door, to be able to still have a pet and not have their pets taken away from them because they can't take care of them. So for them, it's a different perspective than it is for the younger crowd, where it's like, I just want to look good. I want to have a big butt. I want to have a small waist. I want to perform better, which those are all like, those things are, if you want those things, totally cool. I'm just saying from a financial perspective as a personal trainer,
Yeah.
The people who are doing it more for life reasons, they've stuck around a little bit more, and you can see the changes faster too. And it's, to me, honestly, it was more rewarding to be able to help my client walk again than it was to be able to help, I don't know, somebody's, butt grow an inch or whatever. So, and that's just me personally. Everybody's going to be different, have their different journeys.
I started working at a clinic, at a behavioral clinic. So I with kiddos in the spectrum, and for me is way more reinforcing and like rewarding to teach a kid to say his first words than it is for me to, oh, you got bigger biceps, you did, yeah, oh yeah, what's that spell, awesome. But yeah, that's like a bad thing. Is that but like I see it like that's not shouldn't be the goal. Like,
right. And that's totally cool if that's someone's goal. It's just for me and you personally, I guess there's going to be something that's going to, make everybody tick. And I think for me, that was just what it was. And being able to work with my grandparents basically every single day. And then literally wanting to basically just hang out with me and like talk to me and just have somebody there with them. Like they would tell me like the most exciting part of my day is when you get to come work out with me. And that's because some of them, their family lives really far away. They're in San Diego, but they're alone. Like they're in one of the most beautiful cities, but they're only here like because they're at a nice retirement resort or whatever it is. So but that kind of led me into, as a personal trainer, we only get paid for the time that we spend with our clients. We exchange our time for dollars, and that's literally what the exchange is. So I came into doing personal training not only because it was my passion. I tried working like a 9-to-5 type of job. Not for me at all. Learned that really quick. I think I did it for like 2 or 3 years, and I was like, I cannot do the same thing every single day. I'm sorry, I can't. So that was one of the other reasons why I got into personal training, and I got to be my own boss. I could make my own schedule. I could work with the people that I want to work with, and everything. All of that sounded really great. I could charge what I wanted to charge, and it was just like, okay, cool. This sounds like the thing I want to do. But as I got farther into it, then kind of starting to kind of realize like, oh, I wear every single hat. Like I do, I'm the accountant. I'm the janitor. I am the trainer. I am the coach. I am every single thing that you could possibly think of. I'm the manager. I'm the assistant. I'm doing the phone stuff. I'm doing this. I'm taking care of the finances, invoicing, all these different things, and I'm doing the training on top of that. So I just started to kind of realize me being a solopreneur was taking up actually more time than I had thought I wanted it to be. And I was like, what am I really being compensated for the time that I'm spending on not just working with my clients, because they're only paying for me for the hour, but now the time that I'm spending outside to develop programs, to do scheduling, to make sure that they're showing up, to do payments, making sure everything's good, my equipment, all that stuff. So as a trainer, looking at, what I'm dealing with, only getting paid when I show up. And if they show up, because you don't get paid if they cancel or if they go on vacation or if they get sick. So there was just too many variables within how I was getting paid. And I would work like my butt off. I would work from like 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. I would stack my clients back to back, and I would be like financially successful and have a lot of money, but then I would have no time for myself, no time for other things I wanted to do. I would get home, I would literally crash out on the floor, and I wouldn't even like want to eat sometimes. Like I was just tired. You're literally giving people like your energy, you're giving them everything, and on top of that, trying to train, work out. So it was just like a lot. Yeah, it was just a lot. Like I almost felt like, you're kind of like living like in a dream, and it's just you repeating the same thing every single day, but just kind of seems like there's no way out. And
I like to call it autopilot. I usually tell my clients, like, you're living on autopilot. Like you gotta be present. Take control.
You don't even like really notice it, because it's like you're just in your mind like, oh, eventually this is gonna end at some point, but it just doesn't, because you're not changing anything. So how is that gonna change? So I got tired of it. I got tired of spending all my time, even though I loved helping people, I wasn't helping myself. I wasn't getting the results I wanted. I was still tied to training my clients in order to pay my bills, in order to pay rent, in order to put food on the table, in order to pay my car note. And if somebody missed a session or canceled or quit, I would feel it. Financially, I would really feel it. So I just knew that there had to be some other avenue for me to be able to make income, for me to be able to have another source of income, for me to be able to have residual income, passive income. So that was kind of when I started to realize that you really do need a second source of income. You need not even a second, I should say just multiple sources of income, especially this day and age.
2020 showed us like stuff happens.
Exactly. It showed us. you need multiple sources of income because you don't know when a pandemic is going to happen. And that was one of the situations that I ended up having to go through because once I had, went through all these, realizations of, am I going to be 80 years old telling other people to do bicep curls still? Like, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to, to be traveling or be in Italy or whatever, be somewhere else or travel, just do whatever I want to do, basically. I don't want to be like having to work, still be working just so I can literally survive. So that was when I got involved with the same company that me and you are both with, and decided, and that's when I learned more about residual income. I was already looking at like investing in properties and stuff. Not like I had the money to, but I was researching on how to say, checking it out.
I'll just dream.
Yeah,
I get it.
sure. It's good to know before it comes. So I was looking at different ways to make some additional money. And getting into partnering with the organic nutrition company that we partnered with, it totally just made sense because it definitely aligned with me, like being able to have superfoods and deliver superfoods and organic nutrition, especially in a time when we're in a pandemic and people were having a difficult access to certain types of foods, especially more of the organic food. And when people are focusing on their immune system and really wanting to get healthy during this time. So it made sense. And then like I said, when I started to learn about the residual income, I decided that, okay, I'm going to give it a try. Like, why not? Like if I want something to change, then I have to change what I'm doing. I can't expect different results by keep doing the same thing that I'm doing. So I partnered with the organic nutrition company. This was a couple months prior to COVID. And I was like, okay, so I like my situation here, like what's going on. I'm starting to really make some income here. And this is pretty cool. Like now I have more income and I'm not spending too much time on it. I'm able to get free coaching, free mentorship and all this stuff, learning how to build my business and learning how this can translate into my coaching business as well. COVID hit. And I lost my job as a personal. I got hooked so bad. I was like, literally, I showed up to one of the retirement resorts that I was working at to see my clients. And I show up and I go to sign in like I do every single day. And they're like, oh, you can't be here. I'm like, what do you mean I can't be here? I got to go see Dave. Like, it's our training session. And so. Like, we got our training sessions today. They're like, oh, yeah, I know. But, like, because of the pandemic and COVID, like, you can't be here because the seniors are at high risk. So nobody can come in. Their own family members couldn't even go see them. Like, they were alone at the very beginning of all of this. So I was like, wait, what? So I was confused. And they basically told me to go home. That was like,
Hey.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. So I'm literally driving home. I'm like, what is happening? Like, I'm like, oh, 2 weeks, right? That's what we all thought. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh, man, the joke was on us, wasn't it? So I was like, okay, well, let me figure it out what I can do, in the meantime, and to kind of make this work for me. So I started to think more about the company that I've joined and what I've been doing. So I decided that I gotta make the switch. I gotta do something. Rent still due. I still gotta buy food. I still gotta live. I still gotta do these things. So I switched over into doing that full time. And ultimately, what it has done with me, I've been doing it full time since March. Ultimately, what it's done for me is given me the freedom of choice. And things have opened up again. I'm allowed to see my clients again. And I've decided that I only want to work with about 2 of my clients out of the 26, 27 clients that I was working with multiple times a week. That's because I like these people and they live closer to me too. So I don't have to drive so far. Yeah. So after that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I can choose what to do with my time. I don't have to live every single day. I have to show up and train you because I have to survive. I have to live. I have to eat. Where it's more of like, I'm training you now. I'm coaching you now because I genuinely want to. I want to spend time with you and I want to see you improve. Not like I didn't want to see those things before, but it was just it's a different type of energy that you're putting out. It's a different type of perspective. So yeah, that's just kind of where I've been at now, working this business full time. Now my personal training business is my second source of income, and
I
this is my
love
first source.
I mean, I love that. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that makes sense. I imagine like you're not the only coach that had to like struggle a lot last year when COVID hit. Because I started my business in COVID, so for me it was like I need to adapt to this. Whatever this is, I need to adapt to it. But I know that personally, I know a lot of coaches that I speak to that mentor me, coaches that I help out with clients and stuff, and it was a really, really rough transition for them, and many of them are still struggling to this day. Was that September 1st, 2021, to get back in there, and it's going to be. And what many people are struggling to understand is that we're we're going into this new normal. Technology is about to take over because we already have our new strain. There's probably going to be another virus in the future, and it saves people money. Like the whole digital thing, it saves people money, so it just makes sense. And it's really important for coaches to understand that um, in order for us to continue to train people effectively and give the best services that we can, and not just wear ourselves out thin, we need residual income to keep our business going, to be able to invest in our marketing, to be able to invest in our website, to be able to invest in the systems that we're using with our clients. It's really, really important. Otherwise, like a lot of the coaches that I've spoken to in the past year or so, they have to close shop, like completely close shop and do something else. That breaks my heart, and that really breaks my heart. But I really just want any coach just listening to this, or even any person listening to this, to know that there is other options. There's a better way. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. I know it looks crazy, sounds crazy right now. We're closing up again here in Arizona. Like it's getting like scary again. I work with kids, so like I gotta get more masks again, and like hand sanitizer and all the things. But I just want to remind you all that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that times will get better. They will get better, and we're here for y'all. We're here for y'all.
Yeah. And
Anytime.
history repeats itself. So it's just like, let's just be prepared instead of
Yep.
just being like surprised, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. It's like this happened 100 years ago. So it's like, let's just be prepared again for the next time that it happens. And we weren't all alive during those times, so we wouldn't know. We hadn't been through it, even though maybe we should have learned about it, but not all of us did. That
No,
these things are now we know we've been through it. um that next time we can just be more prepared. And like you're talking about gyms and stuff like that, like brick and mortars are starting to close up shop and whatnot, and people are starting to switch more online. There's no overhead when you're online. You're just working with your clients straight up, and so there's less. You're paying less to work with your clients, and your clients get to get more value from you. And I'm not saying taking away from brick and mortar, because I love seeing my personal trainer and my coaches in person. I literally cannot do it. I'm in boxing. I mean, I need a coach in front of me to correct what I'm doing.
Like there's no way without our coach. Impossible.
Yeah, any type of like fighting thing. And like with training, like it's good to have like those cues and stuff when you're working with people. I guess it just comes down to that you can do both. Like you can have both. Like you can have financial success, and you can also be doing the things that you want to do. You don't have to be tied to working every single day all day long. It's just a matter of how you are intentional with your time, and how you are able to manage your day, and time block and all these different things, and find a good coach and mentor to be able to help you do those things. Because looking back, like, I wish I would have just got a coach or a mentor to help me in the first place, but I was too stubborn to do that, and I wanted to do it on my own. It's like, I know I could be so much farther ahead right now if I would have just done that. So now it's like I have a coach, I have a mentor, and I like to coach and mentor other people as well. And that's what fills my cup right now.
I love that. I love that. That's awesome. Next time you come to Arizona, I have some paths. We have to go out in the mountains again. Like, definitely give me some coaching. Have some fun.
Okay.
Yeah, what the?
Okay.
I'm ready. I love it. I'm so ready. I love it.
I remember that you said that, but we'll
Oh
make it happen. I'm gonna come out there soon
God.
though, so that's
Woo.
gonna happen sooner than later, bud.
Oh, I know that. I know that. I'm ready. It's hot out here. Let's get some sweat going. I love it. Yeah. So like honestly, that's that's mainly what I wanted to focus on, and like kind of just hop on here and allow people to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and let them know that there is a community of people here that are willing to help you and willing to support you and reaching your goals, and doing it selfishly, not doing it for their own benefit, doing it because they want you to succeed and to win. So that's honestly. Is there anything else you want to add? I honestly, I think I asked you. I got all my questions answered, so I'm good.
Yeah. I would just say if any of this resonated with you, if you guys are curious on what we're talking about, because I know we were very vague on what we were talking about today. So if you're in alignment with anything that we did speak about, if you're wanting to learn more about what we do with the Organic Nutrition Company, how we do make a second source of income or first source of income, whatever it is, we would love to share that information with you to see if this is something that resonates with you or is in alignment with you. Not, that's totally cool, but we are here to support and be able to help as many people, impact as many people as possible. So that's pretty much how we make it income. Income equals, or impact equals income. So that's what the journey that we're on right now. And that's
Awesome.
it.
That's beautifully put. All right, awesome. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna just end it on a high note.
Oh my gosh, so
Really crazy. I have my bear rug over here, you know. I can't with her. Thank you for giving me so much of your time, though. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Definitely, we'll keep doing this. I'm probably going to hit you again next week, and we're probably going to do this again because I have a few more questions for you. It's part of life. I'll let you go, though. Yeah, I'll let you go. Thank you so much. Take care.
Cool, man. You too. See you later.